Of the UN General Assembly in New York, Ruto took the opportunity to lay bare Kenya's urgent needs, appealing to the international community to step in. Ruto also asked investors to consider putting their money in the country. Now, our reporter Grace Nganga reads through the 40-minute speech and now highlights some of the key points.
Barely a week after his inauguration as the fifth president, during his maiden speech at the United Nations General Assembly in New York, United States, President William Ruto was keen on 10 key issues that he sought the intervention of the international community. What seemed as his biggest headache at the moment, climate change, was the top of his plea. Citing the ongoing drought in the country, Ruto asked for the other world countries to support developing countries in tackling the climate crisis.
I call on member states and all relevant stakeholders to demonstrate strong political will and showcase effective cooperation by supporting the most affected countries financially, as well as through sharing land restoration and climate change adaptation technologies.
Painting a picture of the well running dry.
Rivers, canals, and water reservoirs that are drying up on account of drought and heat waves.
This as the country faces the worst drought yet.
The northern arid and semi-arid rangelands of our country have been gravely impacted by drought, whose severity has not been seen or experienced in 40 years.
And with signals of a return of costly foreign loans, as Treasury has said Kenya will find it challenging to sustain reliance on multilateral lenders, Ruto took the opportunity to seek mercy from financial institutions, calling for a debt relief.
On behalf of Kenya, therefore, I join other leaders in calling upon the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and other multilateral lenders to extend pandemic-related debt relief to the worst-hit countries, especially those affected by the devastating combination of conflict, climate change, and COVID-19. I urge the G20 to extend and expand the scope of the common framework to suspend or reschedule debt repayments by middle-income countries during the pandemic recovery period.
And in efforts for economic inclusion, he never failed to ask for help to implement his bottom-up economic agenda, arguing that it will help achieve fundamental transformations towards sustainable development.
Time to bolster the resilience of our nations, to mainstream these millions through deliberate strategies and efforts for economic inclusion by building back better from the bottom up.
On matters ICT and infrastructure, Ruto called for policies that support innovation and increase acquisition and deployment of technology. The president also sought help by calling for partnership towards confidence-building measures and urged for more concerted efforts towards sustainable peace and stability.
I call upon global financial institutions and the international community to take urgent measures and release all existing financial instruments to provide much-needed additional liquidity and secure better fiscal space for developing countries like Kenya.
He called for the need of keeping with its strong commitment to multilateral institutions, implementation of the Global Fund program, and sustainable use of ocean and blue economic resources. On his part, the president assured on investing in the strength, effectiveness, and eventful success of all interventions formulated by the United Nations. Grace Nganga, KTN News, Nairobi.
After the break, we tell you how a banned birth control pill found its way into the country and a warning from the Ministry of Health over its usage. Stay tuned.